Okay, welcome everyone. Today's Amud, we're on the bottom of Hey Amud base, just before the very wide lines. One line before the very wide lines. So, the gemorah says, Tanya Abu Binyamin. Binyamin's father, I guess, that was his name. I was always worried, I was always upset about two things. Okay, other people are worried about a lot of things. He had two things he was worried about. What were the two things he was worried about? Al tfilosi shetei lifnei mitasi, that I should daven lifnei mitasi, I should daven before my bed. We'll see what that means. Va mitasi shetei nesuna ben safel u'daron, and then my bed should be between Safan and Durham, between north and south. Sounds like a bit strange, like he was worried his bed should be between north and south. Just put your bed between north and south. If that's what you want it, right? We're going to see what that means. Why? Huge machlekes. What it means. But just do it. Like, what he's worried his bed should be between north and south. What are you so worried about? How hard is it? It sounds like your bed could be facing this way or that way. Okay. That's the big problem this guy has in his life. And what does it mean? I should have it in front of my bed. So says the gemorah, Al tfilos shtei lefnei mitasi, my love lefnei mitasi, ilem lefnei mitasi mamash. If this means in front of my bed, literally meaning, where do you daven shemana? So go to your bedroom, stand in front of your bed, daven shemana. That's what it means. V'amar Yehuda Morav. Yehuda says in the name of Rav Yitemu Rav Yeshua ben Levi, Minayim lispal shlei yadav chaytzis bein leben nekir. Someone that davens, how do we know that when you daven, there shouldn't be anything in between you and the wall? You should daven directly in front of the wall. Shenema, it says, Yosef Chizkiyahu Panav Elakir, it's a pasuk in the Navi, Chizkiyahu faced the wall, Vispalal. So there's an Indian, you're supposed to daven in front of the wall. What do you do in the shul where there's people in front of you? The shaila is sometimes a chatzitza. So the bed, if the bed's there, it's a chatzitza. Some say it's because of kavana. You daven in front of the wall, nothing's there to distract you, just the wall. Nothing's going to distract you. Others say the wall is like the kaisel, the shchin is there. You should be directly in front of the wall. So it can't mean you should daven in front of your bed, because this is daven in front of the wall. Why daven in front of your bed? So what does it mean? So it means near my bed. It means you should daven near his bed. Nesuna ben Safan Adarim. What does it mean? It should be ben Safan Adarim.
Wait, but we didn't say what the significance of being near the bed is. Like, what's the point? What do you accomplish by being near the bed? Better you should be near the bed.
So what it means, lifnei mitasi means I should daven before I go to bed. It doesn't mean al mitasi mamash. It means you should daven samach mitasi before you go to bed. Yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean you should physically daven near your bed. Daven in your living room. Just before you go to bed, daven.
Okay.
Take a look at Rashi Samach Mitasi. He says it's talking about when you get up. Samach Mitasi, sorry, I blew it. Samach Mitasi says Rashi, Kol yomin yisarati shaloi las melacha v'shaloi lasik b'Torah k'shemati mitasi ad shekara sikri shma v'spalal. When you get up in the morning, I didn't work and I didn't learn Torah till I said Shema and davened. So Samach Mitasi means in the morning, not when you go to bed at night. It means in the morning when you wake up. Say Krishma, daven, and only then can you go to work, can you learn Torah. Don't learn Torah before. Big shaila nowadays, are you allowed to learn Torah before you daven? And what the placement says, if you have a makom kavua, you daven, it's for sure not a problem. If you have a shir kavua, Torah barabim is not a problem. But the idea is that we're worried you might forget to daven. But if normally it's not a problem, some say it's only a problem to work, not to daven. That's the whole business about davening before you go to work. That was he was worried about. He was worried he's going to do melacha before, or learn Torah before he davens. So what does this mean? His bed should be between the north and the south. Anyone who puts his bed between Saf and Adarim will have bonim zcharim. Shenema, it's pasuk in Navi, v'tzfeincha tamale bitnam yizbu bonim. Tzfeincha a lashon of tzafein, tamale bitnam, they'll be satiated. Yizbu bonim, they'll have sons. So, interestingly, I didn't see it recently, but some say, what does it mean, bonim scharim? Does it mean that you have boys as opposed to girls? No. That's not what it means. Because then it will say, you have a bonim. Right? As opposed to bonis. Bonim scharim means that your bonim, they'll be scharim. As opposed to bonim nekevus. Now, let's say, have a bonim. You have a lot of boys. It means your children, even your daughters, they'll be schar. And what's a zachar? Zachar is like the giver. And then the nekeva is the receiver, for whatever reason that means, right? In those days, definitely the husband supplied, provided, protected. So in a way, she was more, receiving the goods. So it means your kids will be mashpiyim, they'll be influencers. I think that's the word. They'll be strong. Your sons will be strong, they'll be. So that's if your bed is between north and south. What on earth does this mean? Let's keep going. Let's see another line over here. The woman won't miscarriage if he puts his bed between north and south. So she'll be able to see the pregnancy through if you put your bed between north and south. Good advice. A woman shouldn't have miscarriages. For some reason, it's not recommended nowadays as the first thing to do if someone has miscarriages. But the gemorah says, so what's going on here? What's this sofan adorim? Take a look in Rashi. Fascinating Rashi. It's just above where Taisus, just below where Taisus kol. So Rashi says, sofan adorim, Roisha magleh, the head and the feet, zel et sofan, the zel adorim. Now, venir be'enai, Rashi says, I think it's not so common for the Rashi is near Beinai. It means that it's not mafurish to Rashi. It's not like, crystal clear. He's not saying this is bevadai. Everything else says is, I guess, but near Beinai, this is what it appears to me. The what? Shashchina b'mizrach oy b'marav. The shchin is either mizrach or marav. I guess it's telling a machlokes in a different place if shchin is b'mizrach or marav, or it depends on where you are in the world. I guess if it's to mizrach or marav of you. Therefore, when a person is using his bed for marital relations, he shouldn't be facing Mizrach or Marav. His head should be Tzafan Adorim. How does that work? What does that mean? You're facing Tzafan Adorim, because if you're facing Mizrach or Marav, so you're facing the Shekhinah, your head's facing the Shekhinah, yeah.
But it doesn't work today. People live in South Africa, people live in the northern part of Israel, so then it is Darim Safan. So you have this.
So I don't know if it means face Yerushalayim. You're assuming it means face Yerushalayim, right? Mm-hmm. It could be the Shekhinah b'Mizrach means the entire Mizrach, Shekhinah. Wherever you are on the left of it, it's that way. It's opposed to facing the North Pole or South Pole. It's to the Mizrach and Ma'ariv. Okay. What does it mean b'chal Shekhinah's b'Safan Darim? I don't know, go figure. Hashem's everywhere. Famous song. Hashem is thank you, Agol Maishi. Hashem's everywhere. But it means there's a certain concentration. That's where we see the revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is in the Mizrach Ma'ariv. We don't face the North Pole. Okay. The question is over here is, first of all, the first question is this a chayva? Or is this just a good idea? To have your bed between Safan and Darim. So Rashi we saw says, Shechina b'Mizrach, therefore your head should be north and south. I don't understand how that helps you. Tashmish, facing, your body's facing, I don't know. What some say, other Rishonim say, is that it's not talking about Tashmish with the wife. It's talking about any time you sleep. It doesn't say, the Gemara doesn't talk about Tashmish with the wife. It's talking about your bed. The Gemara could have said, when you have tashmish, it should be north and south. It doesn't say that. It says your bed. Your bed should be this way. It's got nothing to do with being with your wife. And the shaila is, Lefi Rashi, Lefi Taisus, it's only an issue when a man's with his wife. But if a man's not with his wife, it says it before in Taisus also, Taisus says, bottom Taisus, it's only a shaila when he's sleeping with his wife. Some even want to say, Lefi Taisus, even if he's not Sofan Darim, just in case he has tashmish for whatever reason. But if he's sleeping, if he's a bacha, if he's sleeping by himself, it could be Mizrach Ma'ariv. There's nothing wrong with that. The whole problem is only having relations. It should be from Sofan Darim. I'll just say, like, what shaykhs? How does that make any sense? physically doesn't make sense. What is it talking about? Even if a guy's a bachar, so what's the problem? They used to sleep without clothes on, and the gemorah says you're not allowed to sleep on your back or on your stomach. So you're sleeping on your side. So if you're sleeping on your side without clothes on, then your private parts are facing Mizrach HaMa'ariv. That already makes sense. Your private parts are facing Mizrach HaMa'ariv because you're sleeping on your side. If your head's softened Durham, your private parts are facing Mizrach HaMa'ariv, right? So that's what some want to say. That's what it's talking about. Even when you're by yourself, sleeping without clothes. I'll say, what are you talking about? You have to sleep with clothes on. People sleep with clothes on. Or even with a husband and wife, they're sleeping covered. So it's got nothing to do with... Maram Pana says we're not talking about sleeping with a wife, we're talking about and people wear clothes. So Rambam Paskins, Halacha L'Maisa, you always have to have your bed facing Tzaf Nadar. Just like you have to have your bathroom also facing Tzaf Nadar, L'Chaira, and not Mizrach HaMa'ariv. The Gemara says also, it's a machlekes Rabbi Kiva and Rabbi Yossi, does your bathroom also have to be Tzaf Nadar and Mizrach HaMa'ariv? It's a machlekes. So Rabbi Kiva says, also the bathroom has to be Tzaf Nadar. L'Chaira, it's Tali Haba and this machlekes. The Rambam seems to say, Halacha L'Maisa, even without your wife, your bed always has to be Tzaf Nadar. Marriage, no marriage, the same thing, I guess, maybe because he's chayshish, you're sleeping without your clothes, or the Shekhinah has X-ray vision, therefore it's better to have Mizrach Ma'ariv, sleep Tzaf Nadar, and not sleep Mizrach Ma'ariv, right? Rebbeinu Yehuda has a whole different mahalacha. Rebbeinu Yehuda says, and really the Ramban says, it makes no sense whatsoever to think that just because somebody puts his bed facing this way as opposed to the other way, that his wife's never going to have miscarriage and his kids are going to be these bottom schorim. Only a Pezi would think such a thing. Ramban says, obviously what it means is something completely different. And there's a lot of Sistrei Torah, it's Tzaf Nadar. It doesn't mean north and south. You know what it means? It means you always have to have your body between hot and cold. Meaning you should be balanced. When a person's trying to have kids, you should be balanced, meaning you shouldn't be with his wife right after he ate, or when his stomach's empty, when he's too tired, when he's too alert, when he's bekas, when he's angry. You should try and be in the middle of all the midas. That's between Tzaf and Nadar. You should be central. That way your kid's going to be healthy. She won't have a miscarriage. It's the healthiest way of having, I guess, your thoughts, your feelings, whatever it is, has ashpa on your children. Rebbeinu Yehuda says, what does it mean? It's something totally different. Ben Yehuda says, Tzaf and Nadar, the Gemara says, Harei tzalachkim yadrim. You want to become a chacham? You should point a bit south. Why? Tiny bit south, because the menorah, which represents Torah, was in the south, and the mizbeach, the shulchan, was in the north, in the Kodesh HaKadosh, and the shulchan represents parnasa. So what he means is ben tzaf and nadarim is to remind us your head is the tzafin, where the Torah is, where the menorah is, and your feet. The person should be thinking the darim is always where the mizbeach is the shulchan. So what does it mean? It's to be muram as a person. The Yabed should be between Tzaf and Adarim, that you should daven before a person's with his wife, he should pray. That's what he's talking about. He would pray. You should pray that your kids should be chachamim and ashirim. You should pray your kids should be chachamim. And that's the perfect time to daven, because once after Tashmish, once you impregnate your wife, that's when he has his muzzle. And now it's already too late. Now, even though in muzzle Yisrael, the Rebbeinu Yehuda says, in muzzle Yisrael, you can always daven. You're right. They have a muzzle, you could daven to break the muzzle. But then after the kid's already been conceived, you have to daven more to break the muzzle. But before the muzzle, your tefillah is easier to be miskabel. He doesn't have to break anything. You daven, the kid should be usher and a chacham, and then you can have a kid who's usher and a chacham. It's much easier. You don't have to break any type of bad muzzle. Fascinating stuff. Okay. Says the Gemara, let's keep going. Halacha L'Maisa, I just point out, what do we do now? There's Halacha L'Maisa. Basically now they say, since the Zohar HaKadosh throws in there a wrench and says, no, you should be a bear between Mizrach and Ma'ariv, not between Tzaf and Adarim, right? So the place can say, you know what? Nowadays no one's makpid on it already, no one's makpid on it. It's you want to do it like the Zohar, you should do it like the Zohar, you want to do it like Shas, do it like Shas, right? It's also, what's it called? By the way, the Yalkut Shemaini says it's not because of Shekhinah, it's because of Ruach Ra. There's a Ruach Ra, Mizrach Ma'ariv, so therefore there'll be Mizrach Ma'ariv if it's Tzaf and Darim. So there's all different pshatim. whether it means you should be mechaven, you shouldn't be mechaven. Is it talking about actually putting your bed or in betashmish or biyachid? So we don't mark, but put your bed however the heck you want, however the Kabbalah decide to build your bedroom. That's how you should put your bed, right? And they bring a raya. Well, it's not necessarily a raya to everyone, but it says in the Zorah in the Beis Hamikdash, along the north wall there was stones, and the Kohanim slept along there, and they slept. So it's foolish that they slept mizrach to ma'ariv. How can they sleep mizrach to ma'ariv? So some things are a problem because they had clothes on. The whole shaila is without clothes, and if you had clothes on, they had big day kohana. So that's not a problem. I would say you see here that for a yachid, when he's not with his wife, it's not a problem. The whole shaila is only when you're with your wife. The b'chal, it's a problem with the kain. But if you the Rambam that says it's a problem even for yachid, how did the kohanim sleep mizrach to ma'ariv? So maybe basically make this different. I don't know. You have to come up with a teretz. But so many places say that since there's mizrach ma'ariv that's sof and darm, do whatever you want. Some say you should always either keep the Zayah's way or you should keep the Shulchan Aruch, or you should keep the Shas. Don't like one day do this, one day do that. Others say, nah, it's all hefka. Now there's no nafkamina. Especially if you hold it's because of mazikin rachra. There isn't again nowadays. Maybe there's nothing to worry about. If it's because of shechina memela. Al Kaponim is a bit strange because the Mishnah Berurah paskins that we only go with the Zayar when there's a machlekes a paiskim what to do. Right? It's, I think in Hilchos Tefillin he speaks about this, about whether you should wear a bein tam, whether you shouldn't wear a bein tam. One of the longest be'alochas. He says that you should we only ever follow the Zayah. It's not his pshat. He's quoting. I can't remember who. You only ever follow Nista if there's a machlekes and nigla. What pshat is, what to do. So you can bring in Kabbalah to be machriya, to balance the scales, to carry some weight. But if there's no pshat, it's a machlekes zayah, machlekes pshat. We don't go with the zayah. We got a gemorah. That's just right there. We say we don't understand. And taka, many gedolim were mechunuch to have the beds dafka between mizrach and ma'ariv, between sofen and darm, not mizrach and ma'ariv. Others say there's enough kamina. Okay, keep going. Says the Gemara, 3 lines from the bottom. Tanya Abba ben Yamin, another name from the same Abba ben Yamin. Two guys went into a room to daven, into shul, and he didn't wait for his friend, and he leaves the room. So there's 2 guys davening in shul. Some say it means even if you came in with 10 people in shul. You came in, there's 10 people, now there's only 2 of you left. Everyone left, you're there with one last guy. If you left shul, you left this guy by himself, what do? What's your reward? They tear up your tefillah. In your face. Shenema teiref nafshei ba'apoy. Halaman chatazev eretz. V'loyoid, not only they tear up, ele shegayrem l'shchina shetistalek mi-Yisrael. You're making the shchina leave Yisrael. Shenema v'yetak tzur b'mkoyim chavein tzur l'kodesh baruch hu. Shenema tzur yilot chateshi. Tzur yilot chateshi. Tzur Hashem yilot chateshi. He created you with weakness. So when you leave shul, you leave someone there, what are you doing? You're what's it called? You're agreeing that the shechina should leave, and they tear up your tefillah. Why? What did you do wrong? What's going on over here? It's a big machlekes. Is it because when you leave, there's a shechina with 2 people? You left, you took the shechina with you. That's why you're agreeing that the shechina should be mistalik. Others say, you know why? Because this guy, he won't be able to concentrate anymore. Now he's scared. He's by himself. They used to daven in the forest, and the base Knesset was out in the woods. He's now by himself, so he's scared. He can't concentrate. So if you stop that guy concentrating, so your tefillah is now, tear it up, chuck it out. Others say because it's dangerous. There's listim, there's mazikim, there's bandits in the forest, there's mazikin, there's ghosts out there. You're going to leave this guy. It's not nice. He's going to be all mabulbul. Now he's by himself with a bunch of mazikim, listim, I don't know what. It's not gishmak. That's why we tell tefillah. The question is nowadays that we don't daven in the forest, you daven in the middle of town, in the shul, are you allowed to leave a guy? So if it's because of shechina, you take away the shechina also. There's enough kamina, forest or in town, right? If the problem is because of listim, because of ganovim, because of mazikim, and that type of stuff, so in town, you don't have the problem, l'chayra, right? Says the Gemara, says the Gemara, Omer Beis Berebi Chanina, top of Vav Medalef. Sorry, if you stay in shul and you wait, you zeicha to these brachos. Shenema, lu ikshaftel mitzvaysa v'kinash lemech v'tzichoscha k'gal hayam v'kchozeracha v'tzesecha me'echa. You zeicha this beautiful bracha. What they want to know is they don't understand. If you leave, you're Rasha. And if you stay, you get these brachos. Normally, it's like, if you stay, you do what you're supposed to do. You're not getting special brachos, right? Make up your mind. Is it like a gewaltige thing to stay, therefore you get like bracha, or it's terrible to leave, and therefore... So I'm saying, he's talking about a guy who stays more than you have to stay, you know, it's hard, so even though, whatever. Okay, have a wonderful day. Okay, we're going to wrap it up over here. Shkoyach.
Thank you.
Thank you.